Today we're going to be doing the wing, and you're just going to grab your string and unravel the end. From there, what you're going to want to do is attach and tie on the string. For this design, you can pick any nail you want. It can be this one, this one, this one, this one, doesn't matter. So the way I do it is I start in the air, sort of wrap it around my fingers, and then kind of like tying your shoes, and loop it so you have a little lasso. Then I take the lasso, pick my nail, let's just pick one right here, slide it on, actually get it on, and there we go. So that's once, and then I do it at least one more time. And that's how I tie it on. So it's a double knot, you just don't want it to come loose. The other thing I like to do is, this personally bugs me, is I like to trim it, and that is just gone. So that is step one, just tie your knot. From here, I'm going to show you some steps that you can do now or you can do at the end. This just creates a border next, and that sort of gives you an idea of where you're going and makes the edges crisp. So you can tell I'm just going to be wrapping around and around. Hold the string tight as you go so it doesn't come loose and unravel. You want it to be tight, but not so tight that you're pulling the nails out of the wood. And then you're just going to follow along. The wing has a lot of edges to give it some, character. From here, we're going to go up, down, and swing around. And then you also will have your cover photo that you can have next to you of the done piece that came with your kit. And that will help show you too all the different ups and downs and angles. So we're just going to keep going around and around. When you get to a curve or a lot that are in a line, if you want, you can kind of cheat and just go one big loop. Another tip is use your opposite hand to sort of hold behind you as you go. I'm a lefty, so my right hand is going to be my helper. And look, there we go around. So once you've gone one time around, I like to go and give it 3 more passes. So the next thing I do, bring it up close. So we're going to start the first part of our X, or our crisscross. And you just go the same way, but back and forth, front to back. You can wrap it around every now and then, especially when you're turning the angles, sometimes that helps. But we are just creating a diagonal line in between each nail. You're going to keep doing this all the way around. Then, if you haven't guessed it, the step number 2 is doing the same thing, but it will be a diagonal in the opposite direction. So afterwards, it will look like you have an X in between both of your nails. Let's see if I can just set this down as we go. Again, you don't need to race through this. I'm just trying to race so I can show you. All right, so once you've gone once around, you can tell you sort of have just the diagonal one way. Now we're going to do a diagonal the opposite way so it will look like an X. So for this one, you can go backwards, crisscross, crisscross, like that. So now you have like an X in between these ones up here. You're going to do that all the way around, and that is pass number 3. So the main reason I like doing this is because it fills in your boundary and it makes it really a sharp line and makes it look a lot nicer. It's not required. It's just a particular, it's just how I do it. So if you don't like it, you actually don't have to do it because it is your string. You can try it and unwind it if you don't like it. And you can also do these border steps at the very end. But for me, it's easier to teach when I don't have all the other layers, then it's a lot easier to see in between them. So there we go. So now we have 1, 2, 3. And number 4, we're just going to create another line on the inside border. So wherever you're at, you're just going to wrap around and out. Again, hold it tight. You can kind of cheat on these little angles. Just make sure it goes down. all the way. There, I looped it. Go up here, all the way down and around. Wow. That's where it helps to have it on the table. Like so. And I think we're all the way back. So if you can tell, it just has a little bit of, basically it is a figure 8. Sometimes that is not always easy to get across, but it is a figure 8 in between each nail. So that's another way you can do it. But look, there you go. You have your border, your little X's. Okay, so then this is the fun part, although this is fun too. But now we get to fill in our wing, and there are no particular directions you have to go. You are just like coloring. So you can go and just wrap it. Then you can go all the way down here if you want. Then you can go all the way to this side. The only thing you pay attention to are your little outer edges. So for that, you would make sure you tuck it in, and obviously don't go across like this or you'll lose that one. So you would want to go to this part and then wrap it down. And then you go across this way. Another way you can do it, that I usually do a mix of all of this. So what I'll do, here we're not at the top, it'll be easier at the top. I do kind of a pattern for the first few, just going back and forth, back and forth. Basically you're shading with your pencil. And you can just do this, this, this. Make sure you got that. And you can even turn your block if that's easier to work with. You can go like this all the way down to sort of get a base filled in. And then once you get there, you can just change direction and repeat the same steps. So you can do a figure 8 too. You can just change the direction and say, okay, now I'm gonna do up and down all the way left to right and go like this. So it's any way you want to go. There's no right or wrong way. I've seen some people that do a really intricate pattern of back and forth, or they'll choose like a middle one and just go like raise out. So those are all really cool. For me personally, I don't tend to do a pattern because that takes the fun out of it for me. I like to be able to just go la 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 and have fun. So we're just gonna do this, and if it pops off, that's fine. And again, you're just going back and forth, back and forth. And then if you wanna do a sort of a figure 8, if there's one spot that just for some reason is not getting filled in because the, you know, the gaps between the nails are not right, you can just go back down and do all those steps we did on the border. So up, crisscross, holding onto your string. I should listen to my own advice. And then back down. So that'll give you 4 strands instead of just the one. There you go. So just keep going until it is all filled in. And if you have extra string at the end, it's okay. You need to save some extra string so that you can actually tie a knot to secure it all. Once you have it all filled in, make sure you give yourself enough string saved so you can tie a knot. For me, we're gonna try this much. So again, just like in the beginning, pick any nail that you want to tie a knot around, and then try and loop and make your lasso in the air. Pick your nail and loop it on the nail and pull it tight. And do that one more time around the same nail. You can do it a few extra times if you want. Sometimes I end up doing 3 because I'm like, whatever. Then if you have this long tail, again, just kind of trim it. Make sure you leave just enough so it's not gonna unravel. Then what I like to do, carefully with my scissors, or you can use your fingers, is just tuck whatever tail is left, just tuck it gently down into the layers so that it's lost. And no one even knows. There we go. We have our adorable, our adorable wing ready to go and be put on our bookshelf.